Your Hollywood system stole our sex and co-opted our violence, so there's nothing left for our kinds of movies.
Movie.
I did not hit her. It's not true.
Klopex?
Klopex.
Klopek.
Up yours, baby.
Me and Bubba, my little brother, listen to you every night.
Where in the hell are we?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey guys, welcome to episode number 4 of Cult Film in Review. I'm Cody Everett. This week we're talking about American Werewolf in London. It's about 2 backpackers who get lost in the moors of London and a dog attacks them. It's pretty crazy. We're going to be talking about that. So, you know what? Let's just start the show.
You saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own.
Hey guys, welcome this week. We're doing American Werewolf in London. I'm your host, Cody Everett. We always start off the show, if you're just joining us for the first time, by going over our weeks a little bit and telling you a little bit about ourselves. But, you know, it's a little egotistical or whatever. I'm not going to start off first. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to switch to somebody else. Chris, how was your week? Where can people find you at?
You can find me at braindamagefilms.com, midnightreleasing.com, 2 local distribution companies in the Phoenix area. We talk about horror films. On the show, I put horror films into your brains.
Mike, where can people find you at? How was your week?
Well, I'll tell you where you can find me. You can find me on Twitter, amongst other millions, at Mike Salucio. Also, I write filmmaking stuff over at friendlyneighborhoodfilmmaking.com.
Yes.
I'm Kyle Smith. You can find me at Pliskin426 on Instagram, and you can find me at Bluefield Audio on Facebook. My week was cool. I'm getting promoted, and I'm starting my promotion on Tuesday, so
congratulations.
More money. Sorry, I stepped on your part there. Other than that, I did go see... a friend of mine had an extra ticket to go see Furious 7, so I saw that this week.
Did you cry at the end of it?
What? No, why would I cry?
I don't know. I keep seeing all this stuff on Facebook. People are like, oh, man, the ending is so emotional.
No, I did not. I did not cry.
They do something.
This movie was, and I was talking to Cody about it earlier, but Jesus Christ, like, I can give Fast and the Furious films some leeway when it comes to being over the top and ridiculous with their shit, but this one was just god awful.
Like, in terms of how crazy
over the top it was so stupid.
But that's like their jam.
Yeah, but you know, when it has to do with cars, like I can accept it, but I was telling Coach, and I'll tell you guys this. There is a scene. So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is in the film, but he spends the entire film in a hospital because he gets his ass kicked in like the first 10 minutes of the movie. So in the last 20 minutes of the movie, when they're having their final battle with Jason Statham in the streets of LA or wherever the fuck it's supposed to be at, The Rock is looks out his window and he sees an explosion go off, and his daughter's in the room with him. He's like, "Daddy's got to go to work." So he stands up and he has one of those casts on his arm that go from the shoulder to his to his
God.
hand.
I feel like I know where this is going.
And he goes and he fucking flexes.
I knew it.
And the cast shatters apart.
Cast.
And it wasn't even practical effects. The entire cast was CG'd when it broke. I was just like,
what?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Didn't you say there was puffs of dust?
Yeah, there was puffs of CG dust floating around.
That's what would happen.
I would have
Video
loved
co-pilot.
The doctor should have walked in and been like, okay, well, that's all my
Well,
medical
that
experience
was
right out the window.
That was broken, but you know, sure, go fight someone.
Okay.
Yeah, go punch someone with that arm.
Don't listen to my recommendations. I'm only a doctor.
Exactly.
Just flex right through that fucking thing.
Oh my god, ridiculous.
Hey guys, I'm Cody Everett. You can find me at the official Cody Everett on Instagram. You can also find me on Facebook. You can find this show on Twitter at what is it, Mike? It's Cult Film.
It's at Cult Film _review.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you can also find us on Facebook and just search Cult Film and Review. My week was okay. It wasn't that bad. I got a little sick from drinking a month-old apple juice.
God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
did you,
Cody, aka shits his pants?
Yeah. No. So here's the story. Sick to my stomach, just ill to my stomach, right? And we have a guy who's working on our house right now. And he comes to work on the house, and my wife's sister's coming into town, so my wife wants everything done like immediately. I'm not feeling good. I'm like, man, you should probably come back. And then I was like, no, wait. You know what? Just do something real quick because she's gonna be pissed if I send you away. So he comes in, and then I'm like, oh, here it comes. Like, I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah.
And so he's in the downstairs bathroom working there, so I have to go to the upstairs bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
First step I take onto the step, man. Just one step onto the tape. Boom. Sharp myself. Right? I was like, really?
God.
Couldn't even just walked up the stairs. Just
God.
couldn't even walk up the stairs.
It was
So-
totally involuntary. You just stepped and it just
Like, is there a stain on the
wasn't-
carpet now?
No, it wasn't bad. Like, thankfully, it wasn't bad.
Was
It
he
wasn't
naked?
like. It wasn't like. It was just like a little.
I think even if you wear
I sharted
shorts, like
naked.
poo will come out.
It was
you
just
know?
like it was like a little got out.
Oh my
got
god!
out of where?
Just a little got
Just
out.
rolled down your
Where else
leg,
does it
didn't
come
you?
out?
Oh god!
No.
Cascading
Fucking
down his
gagging.
thigh.
It got caught in my boxers. Safely.
Oh.
where it
That's what-
Caught in my boxers.
Hey, that's what boxers are for. That's what
Hot
underwear
box.
is
To
for.
catch shit.
It's the catch shit.
you hot box.
You don't want that getting in your jeans.
So now that you have that visual, let's talk about American Werewolf in London. The film we came here to talk about. It was Mike's pick.
It was my pick.
So, Mike, let's go to you first. John Landis was the director of this film.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about the job he did? Do you think he
The job he did.
Yeah, as the director.
He directed it.
Yeah. What how do you think he did?
I think he did a good job. It's a classic film. Everybody loves this film.
Okay.
Who
all
doesn't
right.
like this film?
That's not a good argument.
I have a
Yeah,
feeling.
let's just go right to the ratings. What do
Yeah.
you give it? 4?
How are we rating it?
I have a feeling that Cody does not like this movie the way he is opening up
Uh-oh.
right now.
No, okay, I'll say, yeah, I think Jonathan Landis did a very good job with this film.
Jonathan Landis.
He knows him personally.
Good friend. of his.
Good old John. John did really good. Yeah, I mean, he was known for comedy. He did Animal House before this. They even promoted this film as being like, it's the director of Animal House. And I heard on Wikipedia, because it's a credible source, that people that went to go see this assuming that it was going to be this really like straight up comedy film, and people were walking out disturbed, having no idea that this was going to be a horror film.
Nice.
Right?
That's
You
like
know?
the, that's
I
like the
hope
best
that's
thing
how
you
it
could
went down.
hope for when you make a movie.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
agree. I think it's awesome.
Give
but,
something they
yeah.
didn't expect, you know. I think that. What's the subject we're on?
John Landis.
Landis.
Jonathan.
How did he
Jonathan
do?
Landis.
Good old Johnny boy.
Jonathan Landis. He always reminded me of like.
The old JL.
There's another guy that he reminds me of.
Oh, okay. Good story.
You know?
Who does he remind you of?
John Landis.
There's always another guy, some other guy.
Like it's like if like Steven Spielberg and like Francis Ford Coppola like smashed together, they'd be like a little mini John Landis.
I totally
No.
disagree with that. That's a what? What part of comedy does Coppola or Spielberg bring into that element
I'm
at
saying
all?
physically. Not.
Physically, he just looks like him.
Nobody saw the movie Jack. That was a comedy.
that was a comedy.
All right.
That's Coppola.
Anyways,
Fucking shit show.
going back, no shit. Going back to John Landis and talking about John Landis and his job in this film, I actually don't disagree that he did a good job. I think he did do a good job on this film. There's just for me, there is something missing in this movie. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm a victim of the times, but I just find myself fucking snooze fest during this movie.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
I'll agree.
Dude,
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I think
There's some scenes that go way too long. Like that whole scene where he's just like bouncing around the apartment and stretching and looking out the window. And I'm just like, God damn it. Is this still happening? Like, what is this? What is the purpose?
Yeah, and I had zero investment, and this is just me, but I had zero investment in the love story too. I felt the love story
Yeah.
took away from the movie.
That love story makes no damn sense.
that
It
is true.
doesn't.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
it was missing some.
I
It was
just
kinda
find it
thrown
weird
off.
I'll
that
tell you what it is. Realism.
The
is what-
nurse would be like, "Oh, I've
Like-
gotten to know you over these past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Do you want to come stay in my home?"
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Why are you taking away from the fantasy, Chris? That's every guy's fantasy. Is a hot nurse invites him home after being attacked
It's
by
a great
wolf.
fantasy,
And I love-
and I can appreciate that.
I love her line when she takes him into her apartment for the first time. She's like, "Well, you can turn on the telly. I'm gonna go take a shower," as if to say, like, "Oh, we're not going to have sex tonight." But what's the next thing that happens? He does not watch
They
television.
have, like,
he gets right up in that shower.
Yeah, they have like 6 sex scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
that's
she's
what I'm
trying
saying.
to get him into the shower.
I like
That's
how
I
it
took
cuts
it.
from them having sex in the shower to having sex in the bed and then back again. I don't
Well,
think
you
that
know what?
happened, but
Like I don't like that's my thing. Like I don't like that's like where I'm at with this movie. It's like the acting was great. There's really nothing wrong with the acting.
Oh, God, I disagree with that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't mind the acting. I think the acting's like fantastic. I think they fit the parts. Like
I think so too.
They really do. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with the effects whatsoever. The effects for the time, fantastic. They're fun. Like
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, fun things happen with them. Like the humor is good. Like the humor is good. I wish there was more of it. It's too spaced apart, in my opinion. But but like I said, like the main story, which is the majority of the movie, is that love story. Just it doesn't do it for me.
I can see that.
I agree. I think that the whole reason people even really like this movie is because of the effects in the film. I think
Well, that comes to our next question. What makes this film a cult film?
Well, that's what I was gonna say, because this movie had a $10 million budget, and we all know where this one went. Unlike fucking the last one we reviewed.
Last three we
this
totally
reviewed.
different time period though.
Yeah, agreed. But this is
And he was coming off a hit. I mean, he came off of Animal House. That was a hit.
yeah, but this movie was a hit too.
I'm
30
saying,
million.
But that's probably one of the reasons that went into that 30 million was just
Yeah,
people
so-
were like, oh god, we got to go see the new John Landis film. Have you seen
I think-
Animal House? That shit was sick.
I think you're right, Cody. I think the reason this can be classified as a cult film is because of special effects are the big fucking part of it. Because the transformation scene was groundbreaking. Even though, I mean, was it The Howling came out months before and had
Yeah.
the same transformation scene, but
you know why, right?
oh yeah, because of Rick Baker's protege kind of ripped
Well,
off.
because Rick
his
Baker,
shit.
Rick Baker was going to work on. From what I understand, Rick Baker was going to work on The Howling because it took John Landis so long to get this movie together.
It's like 8 years or something.
And then he said, you know, you're going to do this movie, and he's like, okay.
I
then he
know.
wants to do something
I
else.
heard it differently, and I might be wrong, but from what I hear, Rob Bottin, who did the special effects for The Howling, was Rick Baker's protege for many years, and that was Rob Bottin's big break, was getting the special effects work for that film. And correct me if I'm wrong, Internet, but from what I understand, that Rick Baker was working on the transformation stuff, and Rob Bottin came over to his shop and kind of checked it out and actually ripped off a lot of the stuff he did for The Howling from all of Rick Baker's ideas and designs for that movie, for American Werewolf in London.
Okay.
He saw it as it was being created and
Yeah,
then went and
he's
did
like,
it.
he's like, well, movie I'm working on is going to be out before this, so I'm going to fucking roll with it and knock it out really fast. But I mean, you can tell when you look at the two transformation scenes side by side, they're super similar. There's better quality in Rick Baker's design, mostly because it is shot in like hard light, whereas
Right.
the transformation scene in Howling's at night, so you can hide a lot of the effects.
Right,
So obviously Rick Baker was doing a better job of it, but I think that is what makes it a cult film. Is like before that, like you really didn't see this level of intensity with hard light, with having harsh light on an effect and it looking so fucking real. I think that is what draws a lot of people to the film.
Oh, I think that's what this movie gets its cult classic status from is definitely the effects.
Well, I think it's another thing too. For me personally, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I also think it's because this is kind of a weird hybrid of like a comedy and a horror film. Like this is a violent film.
It is a
violent
very violent film.
Yeah.
To have like these cute quips. I mean, like what's his name's character? Griffin, the friend.
Jack?
Jack. Yes. Jack. I mean, like just that whole him showing up and decomposing over and over, and like that
So
whole
good.
scenario and that whole back and forth between those two, it's very funny. Like that's a joke. That's a
That-
running
That's
joke
so
that just
hilarious.
keeps going on throughout that film.
They were my favorite part of the movie, and then they also had my least favorite scene, and that's when they were in the whacking house.
That was your least
I
favorite
liked that scene.
Oh, that scene was hilarious.
That's actually my favorite scene in the whole movie.
I just
All the people are like pitching ideas of how to kill
Yeah.
himself.
I know I get that, but they're all like just like I just hate the married couple, how chipper they are. I'm just like
I don't.
know.
It's you know it's English it's English sensibility. Like that's the thing that cracked me up the most about this movie is like these these English people who are like you're in a horror element, you hear some weird howling, and what's the response? Like, I don't think it's funny. I'm going to report this.
Yes.
And then it's like you put an American actor there and be like, what the fuck? I'm gonna kick your ass. You keep doing this. Like, it's like these English just take the getting killed by a wolf with such stride and such charisma. I love it.
What do you guys think of the bar? I love the bar stuff too. I think the bar scenes are
like
funny.
the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bar, Cody. It's a pub.
Sorry.
It's
The slaughtered lamb?
The slaughtered lamb.
Slaughtered lamb.
I wish like I could go to a place that looked like that. It's like kind of like buried in some fucking hillside, and there's a bunch of weirdos in there with some pentagram painted on the wall and 2 candles burning at all times.
And werewolves running through the field.
Everybody just shuts the fuck up as soon as you walk in, and they don't say one thing to you.
And then
it sounds like an awful experience.
What I think is funny about the pub is like it has that like weird how I feel Americans view British people. Like the guy, he starts telling the story, and everyone else is just rabble rousing the whole time. Like, I'll tell you one day, I was heading. It's like the fucking House of Commons when you watch it on TV. People are just like, and like you don't hear a single thing until somebody says, "What's up with the pentagram?" Crickets.
Yeah, I think that's part of the comedy element that Landis was coming from, though. It was more slapstick from all of it. I mean, you look at Animal House, a lot of that's like kind of slapstick comedy. That's where he's coming from. So, those elements really came in. I think that, going back to what Cody said, the comedy was too spaced far apart. And I think like the one-liners and the gags were spaced far apart, but in terms of the slapstick comedy, that was peppered in more frequently throughout the film. Like just the detective like knocking over the tray of fucking of whatever the hell those were, when they're in the doctor's office. Like that's stupid and it's funny. It's old school. You gotta keep in mind that this movie was actually written in '69, so he had this 1969 mindset in terms of comedy and all that shit.
It's very violent for 1969.
Well, that's why it took 10 years to get made.
That's why we waited until 1981.
And it proved that the effects were worth the wait.
Absolutely.
I agree. Because again, Rick Baker won they won an Academy Award for this.
They actually created an Academy Award for this film.
Yeah, the first one to ever win this type of award because it didn't exist before.
So that's definitely what I think then gives it its cult following. Then it's got to be the effects, because I've sat here and at least I'm pointing out what I think are problems in the movie, to me at least, that I had with it. Because like I said, I got bored, man. I was just like, and I don't know if I'm just a product of my environment and like I just have like ADD now, like everybody does, and I can only watch something for 30 seconds.
You had a baby screaming in the background.
I tried watching it and fell asleep, and then had to watch it from the beginning to end the next day. So I watched it 1.5 times. And I would say that I found it kind of boring.
It can be slow. Yeah, I'll say it.
Yeah, there are some slow
things
parts, but
drag.
it's kind of it's more of an old school horror. It's like it's right on the cusp of new horror film and the old school way of doing things, which was like really slow, a lot of talking, a lot of exposition was happening, not a lot of scary shit was happening, but he's kind of got that more early 80s, getting ready for like just blood and gore and guts and shit happening. But so they're kind of blended together a little bit.
I will tell you one thing that is not slow, and this film wins the award for me. The quickest piss ever taken in a film.
Oh, right? Dude, I thought the same fucking thing. It was like...
Right after he has sex, he wakes up, he goes to the toilet, and he takes a piss for like 2 seconds.
It seriously is like...
goes right into the mirror. And it's just
what
like...
the fuck?
Did no one else notice it?
I did not.
It should have won an Oscar for
that. I chuckled.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, I'm never taking a piss that fast. What the hell?
Wait, what did he do? Take a shot? And that was all he took that night? Dehydrated. Taking that sex piss.
He needs to drink more water.
After sex
post-sex piss.
All right. It takes you like 15 seconds to even get to the point.
I know, right? Post-sex piss. It takes a little time to get the urine flowing.
Yeah.
Gotta switch valves. And shit.
Like, it's all gunked up in there.
Valves.
All right, guys, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about American Werewolf in London. Stay tuned.
How shall I do it?
Sleeping pills?
Not sure enough.
I could hang myself.
No. No, if you did it wrong, it could be painful. You'd choke to death.
So what? Let him choke.
Do you mind? The man's a friend of mine.
Well, he ain't no friend to me.
Gentlemen, please. The gun! I know where you can get a gun. Don't I need a silver bullet or something?
Oh, be serious, would you?
Madness.
No, a gun would be good.
Yes, you just put the gun to your forehead and pull the trigger.
But if you put it in your mouth, you'd be sure not to miss. Thank you. You're all so thoughtful.
A knife.
An electric shock.
A car crash?
You could throw yourself in front of a tube.
Drown.
Hey, guys. Come on, Chris. Act professional.
Never mind. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. Hey guys, we're back. We're talking about American Werewolf in London. So the next thing I want to talk about is the reveal of the monster, because we've had this argument, I feel like, on almost every episode of the show so far. Did anyone think the reveal took too long on this one? Because I did.
Well, technically no, because
you get to see the face real quick, but when they show the full fucking wolf, you get to see him for like 2 minutes. Yes, there's havoc going on for those 2 minutes, and it's awesome.
That's not the first time you see the full wolf.
That wolf attacks him right at the beginning.
Well, the best scene.
It's not
the best.
The American
I
werewolf,
think
but
I think the best shot of the wolf is when the guy in the subway is getting killed, and you see the wolf when he's on the escalator, and the wolf kind of walks out, and that's when you see the full reel of the wolf.
Yeah,
and
from
that's
like
fucking
80 feet away.
Yeah, it's
but
really
it looks,
out of focus.
It looks
too.
really fucking good because he looks so fucking massive in that scene. Like, I think that's a great reveal.
Disagree.
Oh my god.
Disagree. And would anyone think there was too much man ass in this movie or man balls?
Listen, if
I didn't see any balls, but I did see some man.
You call it man ass. I call it realism. Okay, you turn into a werewolf. Where your clothes gonna go?
True. Off.
It's not like the werewolf's tagging along with him.
True.
You know, he brought like a fanny pack.
A fanny pack.
That's what a werewolf would wear.
I like I like the thing of like the souls like being stuck with the person that whoever he kills. I actually really enjoy that part of the movie. I thought that's a great idea.
Yeah,
and I'm surprised that hasn't been stolen and carried on that I know of at least.
Yeah,
no,
maybe
I can't think of anything
unless
myself.
it happened in Paris.
Oh my god, that fucking movie.
We're
not going to talk about that.
Why didn't we do a double feature?
We should have done a double feature
because the second feature is so horrible.
It should be forgotten about. Actually, you know I've never seen that anywhere randomly ever at all. I don't think anybody bought that movie. I don't know what they did with all of the extra copies. Like they must have had a huge like burning party.
I bet you it's buried right next to the ET game.
Yeah, out in the desert in Nevada.
Yeah, you'll never find one again. It's just buried under
the
dust.
Government's holding it with alien artifacts.
I've never even seen it in the $5 bin.
No, I've never seen the film anywhere actually, except
$2 bin.
It's almost like it was recalled.
Bin.
It's like we're sorry, we can't take it out of your minds, but we're going to get rid of every copy that we can possibly find.
I think the only time I saw it was when it came out on VHS at the video update. Right. I
think I saw this in theaters. I think I saw Paris in theaters.
Get out of the room.
Yeah, I know.
Leave.
I think that was my first thought too when I saw the film. I was just like, I got to get out of the room. Get the hell out of here.
Damn, I paid.
Off topic.
Okay, so the carnage. Let's talk about the carnage too that the werewolf kind of like causes at the end scene. Where it's just the car crashes. Those car crashes.
How many fucking car crashes?
Fantastic.
How many?
That was such a great
Didn't
scene.
somebody fly out of a window?
Yeah, it was like a Smokey and the Bandit X-rated.
You know what's funny is the car that hits the guy that flies through the window in the bank. That guy is John Landis.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did read that. Good for him.
I thought that scene was awesome because, I mean, going back to what Cody was saying earlier about the lack of comedy, like that whole scene is like old school slapstick. Like it's so over the top how many cars keep crashing into each other, and it's just so repetitive. It's like total slapstick. It's humorous. After the first two hits, you're like, ooh, and then all of a sudden you just start fucking laughing as fucking more people get hit and more cars are smashing each other. It was great. I loved it. Good scene.
It is a good scene. Did anyone have a problem with the ending?
Yeah,
I did.
big time.
Yes.
With the ending of the film?
I don't think it really even has one.
It doesn't.
Just so
It doesn't.
abrupt. It's so fast. It's just.
I'm done. I did what I needed to do.
Yeah.
Bye. That's what it said to me.
Well, you made me turn into a werewolf.
I think
and over. That's the whole film.
If I remember correctly, the one review actually pointed that out. I think it was Roger Ebert. He said the film seemed like John Landis had no idea how to end a movie.
No, there's like the ending is you're just like what he shot and dead. Like why didn't he try to break free or run up the building? Can't they do that? Aren't they agile as shit?
He's a dumb animal. He doesn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably wanted it to be somewhat realistic, like running up the building. What wolf can do that?
Batman.
Yeah.
Underworld werewolves.
Now we're talking about a superhero, like not a fucking man wolf.
But I will say something about it, especially the way he dies, because he dies by regular bullets. It's not silver bullets. There's nothing really mystical about it.
Yeah, but they touch on that in the porn.
They do.
In the
He
porn
says something
theater.
about like, oh, what are you gonna kill a silver bullet? And like, oh, and they make like a joke about it. Like,
Come on, be real.
Come on,
That's
please.
ridiculous.
But you know what I thought? Like getting deep into it. It's about the Cold War. No, I think what it kind of says, it does make his like lycanthropy, I guess you would say.
That's a good word. I like that.
Werewolfism.
Lycanthropy.
It's like a real curse because he's mortal. Like it's just like there's nothing. You know how like in vampire movies or even like Underworld or something like that, you can sit there and be like, Jesus, you know what? It'd be kind of cool to be a fucking vampire.
Yeah.
Like I get to see things that no man can see, and same thing with werewolves. This one, I was like, I would never want to turn into this thing.
I agree. I agree with that. That's true.
There's nothing. There's no positives to like Wolf. Remember the movie Wolf?
Yeah,
with Jack Nicholson. It's like not only does he turn into a werewolf, but it gives him the amazing power of like being a cutthroat businessman too.
Wait a minute.
Successful.
Jack Nicholson was in Wolf?
Yeah.
Why did I think he was in Howling? Who the fuck is in Howling?
I don't think it's
no,
anybody.
but not Jack Nicholson.
Oh.
Yeah.
Definitely
I think
not.
you're mixing that with The Shining.
No, why would I mix up two werewolf
No, it's
films
because they
with
both
a
end with
psychological
ING.
thriller?
As
like-
good as it gets, I think, is what you were thinking.
Maybe you're thinking of Woofin. Maybe you're thinking of Woofin.
Woofin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woofin.
Yeah.
But yeah, no positives at all to being this type of werewolf in this world.
Yeah, it just turns into a fucking raving
Yeah.
maniac creature that just tears through the streets and wrecks
But
everything.
Don't you think that that would be like the most realistic depiction of
Yeah.
what turning into a wolf would be like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think in that respect he fucking nailed it.
What if they like?
I agree.
I mean, think about what if they let a wolf loose on like New Year's Eve in the middle of a fucking like New York City's like crowd. What would that do?
Well, obviously it would cause chaos and mass
Yep,
destruction.
exactly.
And that's what happens at the end of the film. But it is just, it's like they just corner it. Like it wasn't even that big of a fight. It wasn't even a fight. It wasn't even a fight. And that's, I think, what the problem is.
I don't think that was it was supposed to be a fight. I think it was supposed to be sad. Really,
Yeah.
I think the tone of the film was supposed to be more depressing, not like an action. This isn't an action film where like a big battle is happening. Like this is a fucking wild animal who has no idea. He has no idea what he's doing. He just is acting on animal instincts. So I think that's a fair way of doing it. I did just belch. Thank you.
Excuse me.
But I think
you got to burp. You got to burp.
I think
man.
he relied.
Let it
Then
out.
I would say that John Landis relied on the love story to make the sadness happen, which it didn't happen because at the end she's like, "Oh no!" Oh, God.
I don't think that's the case. I think the sadness. I think the sadness of the film is seeing this main character like go through something that he does not want to be a part of, like, and I think that is amplified by the transformation scene. You have that melancholy song. What's it? Blue Moon. Blue Moon's playing over, and it's like such a melancholy, sad song. And you watch this guy fucking turn into some creature he does not want to become, and that's when the sadness happens. That's when you become engaged to that character, and you start giving a shit. Like this fucking sucks for this guy. I would never want that to happen to me. I don't think the love stories is just peppered in there to kind of break it up and kind of play to another audience type maybe, or to maybe just make the story seem a little more interesting. It's not necessary, but I don't think that's where your caring is supposed to come from.
I want to talk about those dream sequences that he would have. Those
Those are
nightmares.
fantastic.
Holy shit, dude! Those not fucking scary?
They're
as
fucking
fuck?
terrifying.
They are.
This is more scary than the actual movie. Are
But
those fucking nightmares in
I
the
will,
movie?
I will say one thing: the one where like the wolves are like or Nazis,
Yeah.
and they're just gunning down his family and
Right,
stuff.
right.
I have no idea how he came up with that. I just like would imagine that like John Landis was just doing a bunch of blow that night.
Can
and
I
just
tell you-
decided, like, hey, let's just throw some Nazis in here, man.
That was my
Like,
least favorite special effect of the movie because they were like just shitty ass masks. They
Rubber
were
mask.
they were
Yeah, it
terrible.
didn't
No,
look good,
I-
but I don't think you're supposed to focus on that.
I thought
I
it
think
was
it was
supposed to be
the overall.
weird as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it just looked like, what the fuck is that?
Why are there Nazi werewolves
Yeah, like what a
in this
weird
movie at all?
combination to even think about, like Nazis and werewolves. I mean, I guess you can't say they're
See-
actually. I mean, they seem like Nazis at least, right?
They are. They
They're Nazis,
have
right?
the
They
Nazi
the same
uniforms on.
uniforms and.
No, they are. That's
But
totally
he's
like the
I
SS
can't imagine
werewolves.
he's making some kind of statement with that or something. It's about the
Like a
Cold
cheer
War.
the
squad.
Cold War.
It was probably about the Cold War, Michael. I'm pretty
Probably.
sure, yeah.
The one scene that freaked me out the most, and going back to your dream sequences, was when he sees himself in the hospital bed and that face that he fucking sees. Like, or that the chick sees, like that always reminds me of The Exorcist. And it's funny because Rick Baker actually worked as an assistant special effects artist on Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
So like that just that makeup right there looks just like it was pulled from that, and it's fucking terrifying looking.
Yeah, and you know the other thing that's cool about it, because this is the first time I ever remember seeing this in a film, and I think they've done it in other films, but like that, you wake up from your dream and you're like, oh my god, and then
you're still in
a dream. Still in that fucking dream.
I mean, I think
There's still a Nazi
I think we can make an
werewolf.
argument that this is where Inception came from.
Inception.
Thanks, John.
See,
John
I tried to analyze the dreams too and see like what they were trying to tell him about turning into a werewolf, and it just never made any sense.
I think it's just I think it's fear. I think it's raw brutality, like all that shit.
I think a lot of it was just eye candy.
Him being separated from himself. That's why he sees himself on the operating or in the bed. He's detached from his own body anymore. You know, the animalistic raw of him killing the deer and eating it. You know, I think it's all that shit.
Just the leg. It was just like a leg.
I know. He kills a deer and just eats the leg.
I was expecting to see the neck or something.
All I can remember thinking was like, God, that scene must have been fucking terrible to do. Like, all right, just take that giant chunk of meat into your mouth.
Here's a question for you.
Let's do it again.
Here's a question for you. When's the remake gonna happen?
I hope never. I like this
They actually talked. I read about it today. It's like 2009. They had announced one, and it's just no one's talked about it since.
I'm surprised by that. I'm surprised this hasn't gotten a remake. I'm very shocked by that, because you can see a franchise in this if you're.
I don't think there needs to be a remake. That's what I think. The reason you haven't seen a remake is because there's no need for one. You have Underworld and all that other shit that is already dealing with wolves.
They'll want to
and
update
vampires.
it for this generation.
And you've got the what's that terrible fucking movie with the love story and the vampire and the wolf and shit.
Twilight.
Thank you. So there's already multiple films that are playing off the Lycan.
Plus, there was a theme
thing.
that was going around here that I think this film started, was like the whole American shows up in a completely different place and makes that better. You know what I'm talking about? Like, there's an American ninja, American samurai. Like, it's always this idea of like, hey guys, you like ninjas? Yeah. How do you like about an American ninja? It's even better because it's American.
I think those films are trying to bank on this film that was a $10 million budget, made $33 million. You're like, oh, let's just put American in the title,
right?
American
and they
lead,
did
and that
so
was
much with that, you know.
So many terrible films.
Now it's like American Splendor, sad story about a comic book artist. You know.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back.
You saw me standing alone. Jesus Christ! Without a dream. What? God! Fire! I'm burning
Hey guys, we are back, and we're talking about American Werewolf in London. So we want to talk about the soundtrack a little bit. Anybody enjoy the soundtrack? Not enjoy the soundtrack? Annoyed by it? Not annoyed by it?
I did. I like the soundtrack because I like the song Blue Moon, and there's like 3 different versions of that song in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a little thrown off by it. I think it was kind of distracting sometimes. I didn't like where Bad Moon on the Rise?
Yeah, Bad Moon on the Rise.
I didn't like the scene that was put in. I felt like it was very out of place, in my opinion.
It's like it's a good soundtrack, but it's very cliche, I guess.
No, I don't know. I don't know if cliche. I agree with Chris though that
it's
all the other songs have a perfect spot in the film, with the exception of Bad Moon, which I honestly think that should have been the transformation scene music.
Yeah.
But the flip side of it is, like I was saying earlier, is playing that melancholy version of that song creates that kind of sadness for him to witness what he's going through. So
yeah, it might have seemed kind of comedic if like they were playing
and there's
Credence, the transformation scene.
There's an interesting fact about it. He tried to get 2 other versions of Blue Moon, one from Bob Dylan, and Bob Dylan said no because he had just turned Christian. He wanted to be a Christian for like 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So he decided he didn't like the fact that there was a lot of violence in the film.
Yeah.
And then the other one he wanted to do, obviously Elvis's, which is probably the most popular version of Blue Moon. Well, maybe not the most popular, very popular.
I heard there was another version of it. I don't remember who was the artist, but they didn't like it because
MC Hammer.
No, it's Cat Stevens. That's what it is. It's
no,
Cat Stevens,
and
and
Cat
he
Stevens, he said no.
believes in werewolves, and he didn't want to promote a film
really?
that promotes that idea.
I had heard, and I guess I don't know. I had heard that he didn't do it because when he converted to Islam, he makes sure that all of his secular songs don't get put into movies.
Yeah, but
anymore.
that was after this movie happened, right?
No. From what I heard, he had this is around the time he had converted to Islam.
I like the idea better that he believes in werewolves, so
that's
he doesn't
what.
want to do.
You know what?
a movie
I
with
watched.
werewolves.
I watched some of the behind the scenes stuff, and that's what John Landis actually says, and that he wanted that version, but Cat Stevens said something about werewolves, and he didn't want to promote the idea of werewolves.
I don't want to promote the ideas of werewolves either, because I don't want people trying to figure that out.
Figuring out how to be it or how to do it or what?
Yeah, going out and get bit by wolves.
Just looking to get bit?
Because they watch this movie, they go to London trying to find some wolves.
Yeah, I gotta
Do you guys think there was like a lot of horror in this movie?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Primarily
Do
a
you
horror
not?
movie. It's way more a horror movie than a comedy movie.
I think it's so offset by the comedy that I feel like you're not getting.
I don't know. I mean, I just felt
Sometimes
like
it doesn't feel like one. Yeah.
No, yeah. I wasn't even really feeling. I guess I kind of was under the impression the whole time that it was supposed to be somewhat funny. So that was like a layer just kind of sitting on top of my judgment, maybe. So even in the scenes where it was supposed to be scary, like the build up to when they first get bit, like I didn't ever feel like it got built up enough. I never felt like it was like pulled me. It didn't pull me in far enough to be like, oh my god, what's gonna happen?
I don't think it was ever like frightening, but the gore makes it a horror movie.
I like that. When I disagree with you because there was the buildup of them hearing the creature circling them and they're walking around. Like there was that buildup. Yeah, that sound, Cody.
And you know what that sound is? That's the sound of a wolf mixed with an elephant.
There you go.
That's not even a joke. That's for real.
There's your sound bite of the week.
It was a really good
Chew on
sound. It was a
Chew
really
on
good sound.
Actually, what you
it sounded
don't
like
know,
a
it was
man
me.
screaming
It
mixed
did.
with mixed with a wolf. It was perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the same loop
But
over and
no,
over again. But yeah.
I think when they
never changes.
I think when they first get attacked, I think it's built up enough. Going off what Jan
going off what Jan Brewer
John
said.
John Landis was coming off of his normal
Landis.
comedy shit. Ladies and gentlemen, Jan Landis.
Janice Landis.
Jan Landis.
Janice Landis.
I've had a few drinks tonight. Thank you very much.
I think I'll have another.
Yes. All right, I'm done with that topic.
Jonathan Landis.
I don't got nothing else to say.
Jonathan Landis
All right, so
made a movie
made a movie about a wolf.
about a helicopter that came down and chopped off someone's head on the Twilight Zone.
Yep.
So does this movie say something also about American culture
Just
and
skip over that.
how we don't understand maybe other cultures,
No.
and we just make asses of out ourselves no matter
What?
where we go?
What's your
like turning
example?
turning into wolves and eating people
What's your example?
of them?
Like making like our
Don't-
lack of understanding of other culture.
They're like, don't go on the moors. Okay, idiots walk on the moors. Get lost.
I don't think they said
The
that.
first thing
They
they do.
did.
Yeah, no,
They
they
said-
do. They
they
say very
said-
specifically state of the roads.
Actually, the guy who drops him off in the truck at the beginning says stay off the moors.
Yeah.
And the people in the bar tell them to stay off the moors. And they still fucking go on the moors.
And it's like the total American way of thinking, like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, what's gonna happen?
Let's just talk about a funny
Fucking
situation.
They're
and
just like
wander.
they're just like fucking foreigners, man. And-
Yeah. They're in
Yeah.
their fucking country.
They're in they're in England. And
They're
they're
in
like
England.
fucking foreigners.
And they are. Think about it though, because they kind of are like fucking foreigners because they're like, well, what do
Well,
they know? And they just
They
walk on
are
the moors.
literally foreigners. They're in a
No. I'm saying
They're
the
Americans
two
are
Americans
saying-
are saying everybody else is foreigners around them.
Oh yeah.
Because it's an American thought.
No, I
That's what
understand.
Cody's going with. I think it was. I didn't think the
No one picked up on that. I'm the only one.
going, but like yeah, like
I mean, yeah. Look, it's getting deep this week.
I didn't think it was necessary for them to ask them about the fucking pentagram. Because if I go into a bar, they got some pentagram on the wall with like candles burning. There's a bunch of black soot from like years of candles burning. Like, I'm just gonna leave that alone. But
again,
just accept
I'm
that
not
as decor.
interested.
That's decor. I'll leave it alone.
Oh, I would
But
have been
again,
asking every day,
love
all
it.
day.
But again, dumb American asking about something that they know they shouldn't fucking ask about.
Exactly. And the one guy's like, no, don't
Come
fucking
on.
ask him.
No one would see a pentagram in a bar and ask, "Hey, what's up with the pentagram?"
It's not a pentagram. Pentagram's upside down star.
Okay.
I would actually see that setup and be like,
that's
yeah, I
the
should probably leave this bar.
Just five-pointed star.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's different.
And there has to be a circle around it, right? Does
What?
that have to make a pentagram too? They have the circle?
I don't know the rules.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hold
Jesus.
on.
I don't
no
know.
one else also picked up on it when he was like in the hospital and he was like, it was an animal, and they're like, you're an idiot, and he's like, no, an animal did this, and like, yeah, right. And
Well,
I thought
part of me
I
thinks
thought
that
that doctor
the
was
cops
the worst damn doctor everywhere because he's like, well, a psycho attacked you, and you
No,
never know
I
how a
don't-
psycho can be. Psycho have psycho strength that they can just like rip a man apart, and he's like got claw marks down his freaking chest.
I don't think he was the worst doctor because he actually believed him and pursued it further in the film.
Yeah, but how long? Jesus Christ!
Well, how much fucking
Way to go to medical
celluloid
school.
do you got to play with here? You know,
He's got
it's a movie.
bite marks on his fucking head, and he's
So-
like,
He had to wait till he
did
was
this.
out of his care so he could take some vacation time and
You
drive
said he-
up to the North England.
He said it was a psycho with psycho powers.
Yeah.
No, he says something. He makes.
He
some
says a
statement.
crazy person has the strength of two men.
Yes, it's like
oh my God.
weird.
So it was either a werewolf or M. Bison.
Yeah, something
M.
like that,
Bison.
It was either one.
Yeah. So doing the psycho
Yeah,
psycho spin, whatever the hell that move's called.
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter Psycho
boom.
Spin.
Psycho spin. That's
Did David Naughton ever go on to do anything else? Did anybody? I mean,
I didn't Google
He
his stuff, but he
should've.
didn't look
What about
familiar.
the friend? What was that guy's name?
He's good.
It's Griffin. Hold on.
What
I
did
have
he-
his
Something
name.
Griffin.
What did they
yeah.
go on to do? Because
He's good though. I like both.
This
of
was
them.
actually what's funny is this
I like
was
both of
actually
them.
his like big break.
Griffin
The friend-
Dunn.
The guy,
Griffin
yeah,
Dunn is his name.
Griffin Dunn. His big break, and he was depressed that in his big break he would be a decaying corpse.
Yeah.
Like he actually, the first day of applying makeup, I guess he became super depressed and just upset about working on the film. Like he didn't want to fucking do it. And John Landis and the producer had to like talk to him and like, look, dude, we know what we're doing. Just fucking roll with it, type of thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like some coaxing that he actually finally got on board to finish the film.
Can we
I mean, Animal House, damn it! I know what I'm doing.
Can we talk about that for a little bit? Let me ask a question to everybody here. How long do you think the timeline of this film is? Like, is it a week, a few days? What do you think?
I think it's like a week.
It's a couple of weeks.
Okay, then what's up?
Couple
with
of weeks. I thought it was
Who decomposes that fast?
dead people.
Oh, I
No.
thought you were going to bring up another topic, but
No,
keep going.
I'm talking about this.
I'm
There's
disappointed.
no way the human body decomposes
Hold
that much
on.
in a week.
Hold on. He's wondering about the
Decomposition.
Why wasn't there a full moon when he was in the hospital? He was there for like 4 weeks. Why wasn't there a fucking full moon?
He's worried about but there's a dead
They
guy
say
talking
that.
to him, and he's
They
not
say
worried
4
about
weeks?
Yeah, he was in the hospital for several weeks.
Oh.
How is it that a full moon didn't fucking happen
But the
in that
first
time?
time he
Several's
sees
too,
him,
bro.
he's awake, right?
Hmm?
And, I'm talking about the timeline between the first time he sees his friend when he's in the hospital and then when he ends up in the porn.
Oh, that's like
theater.
a week or two.
That's got to be a week, right?
Yeah.
So how could a human being decompose that quickly?
He's not
I mean,
a human. He's an undead.
I feel like if a zombie saw that guy, he'd be like, "There's something wrong with that."
That's what
fucking
I'm saying.
zombie.
Why is he
Something's
arguing a
wrong with him."
ghost? He's arguing that a
Yeah.
ghost that's falling apart.
The fact of the matter was to show the character in various stages of decomposition.
Why?
So.
I don't even understand the character's already dead. So why is he decomposing? That doesn't make sense just from the get go.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it does. He's
a fresh kill.
He's the undead. He's not a ghost. He's the undead.
But
It's
different.
different.
So he doesn't
It's different.
vanish. He vanishes.
Yeah, no one else can
He's
see
the
him. That's
undead.
for sure. No one else can see him.
So isn't that a ghost? What's the difference between the undead and the ghost then?
Well, I mean, they're
The
same
undead's
thing.
a zombie, and the ghost is a
wait.
specter,
Okay,
haunting.
Well,
No,
then
yeah,
everybody
ghost is
would
not
have seen
the-
the zombies in the goddamn jerk theater.
No one sees them.
Okay, it's like a
They're
hybrid.
ghosts. They have to
It's
be
a hybrid.
ghosts.
It's a ghost zombie.
You are making this up as you go.
It's a zombie
It's
ghost.
totally a ghost zombie.
With
It is a
clearly
zombie
the ability
ghost.
to decompose at an incredibly accelerated rate.
I think that adds to. I think the fact that they decompose adds to the terror of being cursed.
I'm not saying it's not cool because I think it's fucking cool.
I think it's cool
I think
shit.
it's really cool.
But really-
it just seems weird that he decomposes
I think
so
there's-
fast in the
dude,
course of like 1 week.
That's part of the fun. It's like the ghosts have to convince the werewolf to fucking kill himself. Like that's part of the curse and the fun and of everything. Like that's so they're decomposing faster than normal and they're fucking hating life. because this guy's still alive, and they would have sweet freedom if he just kills himself.
I'm gonna say
You got two hands up in the room.
Yeah,
here.
because I would like to say
I'm waving at him.
that I think a lot of this shit you're reading too deep into also, and a lot of it
I'm not.
is eye candy because they use a lot of eye candy in this movie. Like the dream sequences don't make sense. They're just eye candy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think they have any
It's just
placement.
it's a
Yeah,
way.
there's no real-
They
It's
have
a way-
the dream seekers is to show the animal inside taking over.
But Nazi animals.
That's the last dream sequence of the film.
Which, can I say, now that I'm starting to think about it, there's a line like right before that where they make a point about him being Jewish. I'm thinking that has something to do with it.
Oh, wow.
Because I know for a fact,
You're right.
I read this. There's a reason they had, we already talked about how much man-ass there was in there because
Yeah.
they couldn't show full frontal on Naughton because he wasn't circumcised. And that's why John Landis was like, we can't show your penis because no one's going to believe you're Jewish. That's I'm not even joking on that.
That's what I'm saying. Okay? So this guy had to be hard to work with, right?
Who?
Like John Landis.
No, that's realism,
No.
guys. Come on.
No, that's just him.
Every song's
that's,
gotta have moan in it.
That's just him being like knowing what he wants and going after it.
Oh my
like,
God,
oh,
mine's
I can't
blown,
show you
too.
penis because you're not circumcised, and I wrote this really clever line in here where you're circumcised. Like that's just him like actually doing the job of a script fucking.
Who was the casting director? Fire him.
Actually,
Fire him.
what's funny about that? I was just telling Mike this. The two main characters, they didn't even what was the what was I saying?
Griffin Dunn and Naughton. I can't remember.
They didn't actually audition. They just had like a lunch with John Landis, and he's like, "Cool, I'll send you the script. Let me know if you want to do it." That was it. They just kind of talked for like 15 minutes, and then they got the role.
Wow. Hey, how are we rating this one today?
Are we doing that already?
Yeah.
I'm like on a roll here, man. I'm like yelling and everything.
All right. Well, let's yell our ratings.
Hold on. There's one more thing I want to talk about. There's
Okay.
one person that wants to rate this from beyond the grave, and his name is the King of Pop, Michael Jackson.
Oh my
Michael
God! Right?
Jackson loved this film, and as a result, that's why he made Thriller the way it was.
And
Jonathan
that's why
Landis
John
even
Landis directed it.
because Michael Jackson loved this film. So Michael Jackson gives it. Maybe that's what we should say. We're giving it this many Michael Jacksons.
Okay.
You want to rate it Michael Jackson's?
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't you
That's
go
your
first?
film.
Why don't you go first?
Dead Michael Jacksons or just regular Michael Jacksons?
Let's do undead. Let's do undead Michael Jackson.
Undead Michael
Michael Jacksons. That's right.
Okay.
We're gonna go zombie Mike and undead Michael Jacksons.
Zombie MJ.
Who's going first? Me.
You, yeah.
Me. I give. I love this film. This is one of those films that was like on constant like shuffle mode in my house. This and like Fright Night and Big Trouble.
Yeah.
These are the three films that were constantly playing in my house. So I have a little bit of a bias to it, a little bit of nostalgia is coming through. But I'm definitely gonna give it 4 undead Michael Jacksons.
All right, 4 undead Michael Jacksons.
Even though I've been talking shit about it all night long.
Chris, how many Michael Jacksons?
Well, this wasn't really a nostalgic movie for me. So I had friends and people around me that liked it, but I never really watched it very much, in my youth. So it didn't really have, I don't know, for some reason it just turned me off. But going back and watching it, I can definitely appreciate it. I love the effects, of course. I think it's a good movie. It's just not one that I would be rushing to watch again. So I'm going to give it 3. 3 undead Michael Jacksons.
3 undead Michael Jacksons. Kyle Smith.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking across the table at you right now.
You are, and with those dead eyes.
And what I want to know is
Those fucking werewolf eyes.
Mm-hmm.
how many Michael Jacksons?
This movie didn't have a nostalgic thing to me. I think I probably only seen this movie 3 times in my life, but I love it every time. It introduces certain elements that are seen in future films, like the comedy element in horror, and among other things. Special effects fantastic. I would give it, you know what, I'm going to give it 5 undead Michael Jacksons because I think it's a fantastically written film.
5.
I think the pacing is it might be a little off for today's standards, but for the times, it's fucking right on the money.
Living Michael Jackson would agree.
Yeah, he would. Undead Michael Jackson as well. So
Yeah,
5
if he could talk
undead
to us right now.
Michael Jacksons.
5 undead Michael Jacksons. Okay, so like I said, I don't think the movie's not poorly directed. The movie is not poorly shot at all. special effects are probably the best thing in the movie, in my opinion. I'm not the biggest on the characters. You know what I mean? I thought the ending was a little abrupt. I had some problems with it there. I did not grow up with this film. I've maybe seen it 3 times. I was a little bit bored. So I'd have to give it 3 undead Michael Jacksons also. It's watchable. It's definitely watchable. So, I mean, you know, watch it. Definitely for the history involved with it, because there's definitely... This is an influential film. It really is. It did. I agree with you. I think it did set comedy into the horror genre in a different direction, I guess I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? With that, guys, you know, we're going to do Congo next week. It's my pick.
We're doing Congo.
So we're going to do Congo.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I say, you know what? One animal movie to another animal movie.
Good gorilla.
Then you know what? We'll do gray gorillas versus werewolves. And we'll talk about who will win that battle next week. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
I love it.
All right, guys, join us next week. Oh, wait, you know what? Follow us on all our shit. Mike, what is it? What's our Twitter?
Our Twitter is @cultfilm_review.
Follow us on Facebook @cultfilmreview. Follow me on Instagram @official Cody Everett. You can find Kyle Smith.
Pliskin426 on Instagram and Bluefield Audio on Facebook.
You can find Chris at...
You can find me by my name on Facebook, or you can look me up on Instagram, Guar-O-Rama.
Guar-O-Rama. All right, guys.
Oh, what? Not me?
Mike.
Hey, you can find me on
Just
Twitter.
building it up for you,
You can
buddy.
find me on Twitter. I'm at Mike Salucio. It's real easy.
Make sure you find him. And find us.
Show.
All right, guys. We apologize for the show. Have fun.
Thanks for wasting your fucking time.